Again, and welcome to Business Half Hour here on Classic FM 97.3, station plays every song you know. I am Ifan Atam.
I am Bukola, and as always, it's always an interesting time out here. We have an interesting guest this morning. His name is Mark Slade, and is the co-founder of Jara Beach Resort. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, Ifeanyi. Good morning, Bukola. Thanks for having me.
Yes, good to have you, Mark. Okay, so you're the co-founder of Jara Beach Resort. Where is it located?
So we're in a small town called Masheo, next to Eleko, along Lekki Expressway. On a good day, an hour and 15 from the island.
Okay, an hour and 15 from the island. So tell us, what was Mark doing before he packed his bags to come to Nigeria?
So I've been here or on and off from Nigeria for quite a while, since 2008, after graduating Loughborough University in the UK. I came originally for a short 6-month contract for a men's magazine called Made Lifestyles, which was my initial intro into my time in Lagos. Loved it so much, stayed very well connected, and then returned in 2013, where I did a few different things, a hospitality business called Lotus, which was a bar lounge in VI, which ran from 2014 to 2017. And I also helped support Ringier, a Swiss media company, in their offerings across the continent under brands including Pulse and Ringier Digital Marketing. So that was the role that I held before I left to establish Jara Beach Resort.
Yeah. At what point did the idea come to life? At what point did you see an opportunity in Jara?
2017, 2018, my wife and I had a small beach hut in Eleko, which we loved to enjoy on a weekend. We had friends that would come. We had friends that would sort of take it for their own use and enjoyment. And on a particular weekend, we were walking along the beach one day and we saw a relatively empty property, or a property that looked like it needed some love. And we had a vision and an idea and just kind of ran with it. So shortly after, within that sort of 12-month period, we put plans together, and then we eventually opened in 2019 in November.
So getting started, what was it like getting started? Had you been probably putting money aside, thinking, okay, an idea comes, I'll finance this, or how did you get all the funding to get started?
Yeah, it was an idea of thinking, sort of having some savings. My wife and I put everything together for the venture, including additional. We stretched ourselves quite a lot at the beginning, primarily all privately funded, and so it was ourselves and a family member of mine that helped make it happen. So yeah, did that sort of leap of faith in 2019 and just put everything towards it, put all of our energies and hope that it would work alongside some hard work.
All right. What's the capacity? How much people can you hold overnight?
So currently we have 9 rooms. We opened with 6 and opened 3 beautiful family rooms in November last year. Our current capacity overnight is, as standard pricing on our website, is 22 people, 30 as a maximum capacity, but we have just upgraded our double bunk beds as well. So we could actually get slightly over 30, but it's across 9 rooms, which is important. 5 standard rooms and 4 family rooms.
So getting started, what was going through your mind? Would Nigerians appreciate this? Would Lagosians love this? You know, all you see in Lagos is hustle bustle. Everybody is running to go make some money. Nobody's thinking of just taking taking time to relax. What was going through your head for the average Lagosian?
And it's certainly proven over the last few years at least, but Lagosians are looking for their time on the weekend, their time to explore. I think domestic tourism has sort of increased as well. So I think we felt, especially with a 9-room resort, the risk was a little bit lower than opening a big hotel or a big place with plenty of rooms, on the basis that we wanted to provide somewhere that people could relax at. And I think the problem we were trying to solve in general was enjoying a beach day out, but not needing to go home and having the ability to stay over comfortably in a safe environment, with great air conditioners and great Wi-Fi working. And so for us, we felt in a city of this size, and to be honest, even now our clients are coming from all over the country. we felt at the time that we knew that we wanted to set up a place that we would go to. I think that was the initial idea as well. And Millie, my wife, and I, we had a couple of holidays in Turkey, in Ibiza, both of which were the all-inclusive experience. And it's just generally about relaxation and enjoyment. So we wanted to translate that business model into a smaller place here.
It does sound really nice, but how expensive or not is it?
So generally, we definitely pride ourselves on great value and being of a great quality. And we've been associated with a lot of 4- and 5-star reviews, which we're very happy with. But for a standard room, it's 150K, and for a family room, it's 185. And the standard is based on 2 adults. Family room is basically based on 3 adults. And that's on the all-inclusive offering. So the second you come through our gate, everything is taken care of. You're greeted with a cold flannel and a natural juice on arrival, and everything thereafter is included within your stay. So all alcoholic drinks, non-alcoholic drinks, and food as well as snacks. We do ice cream, sweet treats in the afternoon, right up until you'll enjoy popcorn in the fire pit at 9 o'clock. The only thing that's not included in the price is premium spirits and champagne, which are available separately.
So if you say you want to do an overnight stay, so you've got your food sorted, you've got everything sorted for you, wake up next morning, breakfast is ready on the way out. Is that how it is?
That makes sense.
Exactly. So we have lunchtime arrival, so 1 o'clock check-in for the overnight experience, and check out at 11 if you are just staying just the one night. But again, beautiful breakfast, a big focus on food and drink. We've got a great kitchen, very talented chefs, so you can enjoy a Nigerian special breakfast, some spicy scrambled egg and yam, or a big British breakfast as well. So we wanted to make sure that everyone was enjoying the food.
So the 150 is for?
That's for 2 adults. In our standard room, so that's room 1 to 5. All of them are an ocean-facing view, all with an ensuite bathroom and balcony, and that's all of your food and drink included as well. So if you're a couple or even friends, we have people sharing. That's effectively 75K a head.
Okay, so tell us now, what do you make of tourism and its potential in Nigeria?
I think it's huge in general. I think internationally we have some challenges in terms of welcoming external visitors to the country. I think a big factor of that remains visa costs and process, and the application that's required in order to come into the country in the first place. I think Nigeria in general has visa on arrival fees that are significantly higher than other countries. So hopefully that continues to maybe evolve and improve. But generally in terms of domestic tourism, we're seeing a huge rise. And I think in recent years as well, we're seeing big investments and big offerings going in there. And there's a huge abundance of agents and tour operators and trip organizers that are sort of bringing Nigeria to the people more. So whether that's beach, whether it's natural landscapes, whether it's different cities, different festivals, we're definitely seeing an improvement, I would say.
Yeah, but why should I choose Jarrah over the others?
So from our side, I think Jarrah offers a unique sort of quality offering from start to finish. One of the biggest testaments sort of we get is that people feel like they've been transported overseas. We get referred to as a sort of Ibiza in Lagos or a Maldives in Lagos. And from us, it's not only about the sort of stunning scenery, but we're all about maintenance and service and making sure that there's a consistent offering there. So in general, I think people are very pleased and satisfied once they come and stay with us. And ultimately, it's about the customer experience from start to finish. They'll be well looked after. One of the odd complaints we get is people overeat for the amount of food that they're given within the stay. So that's another a big one that we like to hear.
So, running the resort and recruiting your staff, what did you look out for? Because it's called hospitality, and want people to come in and be comfortable. So what were the things you looked out for to actually get your staff on ground?
For the most part, with the exception of the skilled roles, i.e. the kitchen, everything or most of what we're looking for is energy and personality. So we receive a lot of applications for jobs. We have, as I say, a 9-room hotel, but we've got 42 plus staff currently on on our payroll, all direct employees, not including the external sort of partners for plumbing, electrical, and security, etc. But for our own staff members, as you say, hospitality. So it's about making sure that guests remember our team. And another thing, when they sign our guest book or leave reviews online, often they're referencing the staff member that's really made their stay worthwhile and memorable. So when we're looking at, and even today alone, I think I've got 3 interviews lined up. We look at work experience. Yes, we look at sort of certificates and education, of course, but in our role and in our business, it's about making sure that people can exude their personality, have a lot of energy, obviously enjoy the beach, and are very much geared towards giving guests a very good time.
Yes, hospitality took a hit with COVID-19. How have you been able to navigate stormy water?
So we have had a very, I guess, interesting and perhaps unique experience in the sense that we opened in November 19. We were open for 3 months only before we were shut for almost 12 weeks. So by the 11th week, very difficult, very, very difficult. But we kept our staff going. We kept our staff accommodated on site. And we kept the energy and the enthusiasm around our space primarily through Instagram. So when we were able to open up again, we found ourselves actually fully booked. 20. We had 6 rooms and found ourselves very, very busy. So being mainly the small size that we were able to open I think we were one of the earliest hospitality businesses to open. And since then, we found ourselves pretty busy. So we've been very grateful for that.
Running this kind of business, what are the challenges you face for optimal service, for giving your customers optimum service?
Challenges question is always an interesting one, because we sort of relate it. You can almost change the question to what's required to run the business, and in every facet and every department of our operation, there's challenges on the daily. It's not an easy business. I think there's probably easier ways to make money, but obviously we thrive on having a business that's making sense, but also providing great memories and giving a fantastic time to guests. So whether it's from infrastructure access, we've obviously operated through riots and rains and rainy season and other issues that even provide access challenges to Eleko along the road occasionally. That sort of thing has been difficult. Power in itself has been, we're completely off grid. So we are fully isolated. We run on diesel generators. We run on solar panels. We've just installed a wind turbine last week. So a big focus on green energy and being a strategic, responsible business moving forward. So these are all challenges that we've sort of managed along the way. Staffing, of course, mentioned, it's all about getting the right people with the right sort of ticking the boxes of being good, hospitable individuals and being able to work as a team as well. So yeah, sort of challenges right across the board really, but every day there's something different. Every day there's something that keeps us sort of occupied and focused, but yeah, it wouldn't be, we're very used to it. We're used to the challenges, used to the things that pop up, and do our best to mitigate each one.
What kind of guests do you get, and do you ever get unruly guests, and how do you navigate those?
So in general, so Jarrah has been a sort of a celebratory place, which we've loved. So we do a lot of birthdays, anniversaries, other celebrations, bridal, baby showers. So it's a place that people are sort of looking forward to. At times we have bookings well in advance. Even now we've taken Christmas and New Year bookings. We have. Yeah, we have visitors from Abuja, from Kaduna, from, as I say, across the country. And in general, it's sort of, as I say, aspirational or celebratory guests, but also we do have some H&Is, we have some celebrities, we have the odd sort of reality TV star comes and hides away for a few days and indulges in their room and that sort of thing. So we welcome all sorts of great people. On the challenging guest side, we have our fair share. Fortunately, less now than perhaps we did when we first opened. I think a lot of it is around understanding of our relatively unique offering. We are fairly well organized and consistent with our terms of service and our use. So we've got to make sure that we're open to those. We're a wholesome family-run business. As a result of that, we have obviously the intention of welcoming like-minded and guests who are going to come and enjoy the space for what it is. So we're not a party place, we're not a sort of crazy place or a noisy place or a place that any illicit activities can occur. So that's what we're looking to welcome as part of our offering.
So it's more of you coming to wind down, get away from the hustle and bustle, you know, recharge. It's more of a recharge center, isn't it? So let's talk about who your competition is, or who are your competition, and over time, how have you managed to deal with competition, or you do not have competition at all?
So I think that the nice thing about hospitality is that, especially here, especially in Lagos and Nigeria, I think the more competition, the better. I think it benefits everybody. It helps all the owners and the businesses stay on top of their game and remain competitive. But equally, there's a lot of people in the country and in the city who are looking to relax, to enjoy, to get away. When we opened, we felt our competition was probably abroad. We were trying to almost corner the market of people who didn't want to perhaps fly to Ghana or fly to Senegal or East Africa, where places are known for their great escapes and hospitality establishments. And more locally, particularly during and post-COVID, we've seen the rise of other local players in the market. From our side, we were probably first to market, so therefore, having operated for 2 years already, we're in a good place. People obviously are aware, for the most part, of who we are and what we can offer. There are other businesses that we've seen either establish or perhaps raise their game, maybe as a result. And for us, that's fine, and it's great, and it's good to see that even if we're seeing things that look a little bit too Jarrah-ish at times, we're very pleased to see that there's offerings and there's accommodations that at least can provide a service. Because for us, that's it's not just about Jarrah. We're pleased to be able to sort of perhaps improve and increase the offering within the sector, and we obviously welcome and encourage and support other organizations to do the same. It's hard work, it's a lot of hard work, but we definitely welcome more beach and more hospitality establishments.
Sure. Do you have expansion plans? And would you be thinking of starting another Jara resort somewhere else in Nigeria or outside Nigeria in the nearest future?
Yeah, so when we opened, we had our 6 bedrooms, and then after COVID, it was pretty well, our 3-year plan was to open more rooms. We did that inside 11 months, which included those 3 months lockdown, so currently at 9. We had just expanded last week. On Tuesday, we actually pushed the fence down into our neighboring plot. So we've taken our space from 4,000 to 5,000 square meters. So that does provide an opportunity for perhaps more rooms. It's something that Millie and I speak about a lot, as to if we should, how we should, when we should. And I personally see that 12 rooms would be a nice sort of sweet spot. It would maintain our small budget experience, sorry, not budget, boutique experience, but still manageable and still but of a good size. In terms of other locations, we receive a fair few partnership requests, perhaps to sort of operate existing businesses and that sort of thing. Our model so far has been owner operation. In the future, I think we almost certainly would do with another venue. And in the very future, if we're looking down the line, other countries, that type of thing, of course, appeals. As it stands at the moment, we're taking baby steps. I'd say we've made a lot of the right moves to do things in a sort of cautious way. But hopefully, of course, it wouldn't be so fun if we just stayed still. So we're going to keep moving and expansion almost certainly in the future.
So why the name Jarrah, actually? Who suggested the name and why the name?
So the word itself, with connotations in both Yoruba and Hausa languages, meaning to add extra after something's being paid for, so add Jarrah. And for us, it tied very much immediately into our all-inclusive brand offering. The idea that once you've paid, everything is added on top. So if we come around at cocktail hour at 5:30, or if we come around at 4:30 with ice cream, sweet treats, or if we provide you with sparkling wine during the fire pit time, all of that is sort of the added Jarrah experience. So it was one of the first words and names we came across when we were doing some research 2 years ago, and stuck with it. And I think the name and the brand has been a big success for us. And it's been quite recognizable. And that's it. Yeah, it very much played into our brand and our offering. So it was a good fit, a perfect match.
Yes, Lagos, along the shorelines of Lagos, we've seen a lot of resorts come up and disappear within a few years. What do you think some of these guys are doing wrong, and what advice would you give?
Absolutely right. I think we've probably noticed similar as well. I think from our side, there is a tendency to sort of build and an excitement to sort of see renderings and see a building being created, but 100% everything in hospitality and for our business is it's about the experience. It's about the second that the guest enters the gate. And unfortunately, that's the harder side of it. In a sense, it's sort of easy to build, it's easy to create, to develop to a certain extent easier. But when it comes to the day-to-day operation, the day-to-day consistency that's required to make the business work, I think that's where perhaps other organizations have fallen short. It requires a lot of energy. And for us, it's a labor of love rather, and it's our primary focus. And I think if it's not those two things, then things can sort of fade away, and over time. And at the end of the day, in today's world, everyone's on social media, and everyone sort of has their opinions around reviews and sharing their experiences. Very, very tough to maintain that standard and maintain that consistency. So there are obviously, as you say, lots of maybe places that have come and gone, but it's ultimately the experience and the operation behind that opening that's required to keep that hospitality business running.
So what's an average day like, you running the business? What's it like?
I love most about the work, having sort of taken the leap out of previous media and corporate, is every day here is different. A lot of it is, on one hand, I can walk around Jarrah, and in one hand I'll have a laptop, on the other hand I'll have a drill and a hammer, and that's the variety of the work that we have. So I think a lot of guests will testify that when they see me on site, Millie and I will do our hosting part, we'll welcome guests, but they'll also see us sort of actively making sure that everything's running and working. In the morning we tend to leave. We do stay at Jarrah, but also we have a place. Our home is still on the island, so a lot of our work is logistics, receiving orders, bringing stock to the venue, primarily from island suppliers, island butcheries, that type of thing, to make sure that the quality of our ingredients and offering maintains consistency. So then I'll arrive maybe late morning, lunchtime, and often I can write myself a list, but other days I just won't, and I'll still be very busy till right at the end of the day. There's always something to do, something to fix, something to improve. And recently, in the last sort of 6 weeks alone, we've had a lot of strategic projects that are all coming together. So one of them was the wind turbine, which we're very excited by, being able to take that energy from the ocean. We've done an inventory management system, a new telephone automation system. Our new website booking engine is about to go live, which we're very excited about as well. So yeah, lots of things, keeping it very varied every day.
All right. Are there other activities that some of your guests can indulge in that you organize, boat cruises and the likes, games?
No, primarily because we're accessible by road. We're right on the ocean front, but there is no jetty. So you do see the fishermen, but in general, 100% of our guests are coming by road. Activity-wise, there's lots to do. We've intentionally set it up that there's lots to either do, or you can do as little or as much as you'd like. So from anything from a games area, we've got table tennis, pool, lots of board games, lots of books, lots of sand-based games, volleyball, badminton, all of those games that are there. If people are coming for retreats, for example, we tend to employ an external activity coordinator who can come in and sort of set up those games and run it. But equally, our team on an evening, he might be at the fire pit, and a couple of couples might be enjoying the fire, and then one of our hosts will come across and ask if they'd like to play charades or something similar like that. So there's always that sort of thought to that time and that experience, and just enjoying the space as well. So it's, as I say, it's a relatively chilled venue, but we offer as much as people can sort of do, or as little as they like. But equally, we have media in the rooms, we have smart TVs, we have Alexa devices, we have great Wi-Fi there as well. So there's a little bit for everyone.
So for someone who wants to start out what you have, what would you say to that person, and what advice would you give?
I think for our side, it's been worth the risk. It's been worth the experience. It's been incredibly hard work, consuming as a hospitality business. Naturally, it's 24/7, so there's no time off. We find ourselves every day sort of, you kind of wake up and you just check that everything's gone fine the night before. and invariably for the majority it has. But again, it's something that is all consuming. Millie and myself, naturally due to COVID as well, but we've not traveled for the entire period since we opened the business. So if people are ready to take that sort of that energy level and to make sure that they can put in that time, it just requires that consistency. As I say, it's not just about sort of building a very beautiful space, but it's thinking of.
So a lot of hard work goes into.
Yeah. All right. So how does one book a stay?
Through our website, it's jarabeachresort.com. The overnight offering is on /book, and the day pass offering is day-pass. So if you're not looking to come for the overnight visit, you can come between 11:30 and 5:30 for the day. You get your barbecue lunch, unlimited drinks, both non-alcoholic or alcoholic passes that we offer. We also offer passes for children and for nannies as well, and then use of the full facilities outdoor. And that's also done through our website as well. We've got a bookings team. There's a great team of guys who are on the phone and answering WhatsApps, but all of our bookings are done through the website.
No telephone calls?
Yeah, we welcome telephone calls, of course, to respond to any questions, but equally just for, to be honest, organization and by nature of the model that is based on availability, and even with 9 rooms, availability changes by the minute. So in the approach of our website, at least it allows first come to be first served, and even more so with the new website that's coming in hopefully the next 10 days. It's more of an e-commerce system, so you can go fully through the website and book everything, every experience without needing to speak to an agent. As it stands at the moment, our agents are very much in place to take inquiries, but equally we'd like them to focus on the guests that are already on site and making sure that they're well taken care of.
All right. What about social media? If a person wants to go take a look at what Jarrah looks like, where do they find pictures and videos?
Our biggest platform certainly is Instagram. So you'll find us on Jara Beach Resort NG. It's been a great one for us. I mentioned earlier we sort of doubled down on our activity during the COVID lockdown for that. And now we're very pleased that organically we've grown to just under 40,000 followers, which has been fantastic. We receive DMs and inquiries by the day. You'll see a great array of user-generated images that have been uploaded and reposted by our team here. We've got a nice video billboard at Falamo Bridge as well, so you'll see some further visuals if you're in traffic this morning and heading over the bridge. We definitely welcome everyone to visit our social media channels. We're also on Facebook as well, but Instagram certainly, Jara Beach Resort NG.
All right. So before you go, we always ask, what is your mantra? You know, some have some mantra that keeps them going. What is yours?
We have a few, to be honest. With our team, everywhere within our staff area, we have big posters that say communication and guest experience. Those are the 2 things that keep going. Everything can be solved with communication, both to guests, but also within us as a team. And everything is about the guest. So no matter what it is, whether it's the housekeeping doing a great job in the rooms or the ground staff sweeping the pathways, everything is about the guests. We have another one which is focus on the fix. So if there's something that's broken, we just get it solved, because at the end of the day, it's about making sure the guests have a consistent experience. As a quote, I think the Winston Churchill, sort of to paraphrase, the progress over perfection for us is a great one. It's about not being aware of the fact that everything can't always be exactly as you intended it, but as long as we're progressing, because every day that we sort of join the business, we know in general that we leave it better than we found it. So those are probably in general it's just making sure we're improving.
All right. Thank you very much, Max Slade, CEO, co-founder of Jara Beach Resort. A pleasure having you on the show this morning.